Hello, welcome to this video mini lesson introduction to the elements of instructional leadership project. As you will see, this is an analytic rubric that has three performance levels: above target, on target, and below target. Above target essentially equates to a letter grade of an A. On target could be anywhere from an A minus to a C plus, and below target would be below a C plus, which is the lowest grade you can get while still earning graduate credit, essentially. So within each analytic rubric that you'll have for this class, there will be the criteria upon which I am evaluating the work along the left-hand side. And as you can see here, I've tried to sort of bold these and then provide a question that kind of guides my analysis. And then you will see a description of what that criterion looks like at the above target, on target, and below target level. So let's look at an example here. So for the first criterion, which is use of quality resources, I'm asking myself, to what extent does the product draw upon and reference at least 5 academic sources, at least 2 of which are peer-reviewed, and that would be per group member. And this particular criterion is worth 50 out of the total 200 points for the project. So an above target product will smoothly draw upon and integrate at least 5 respectable and relevant sources, at least half of which are from peer-reviewed publications. Pretty straightforward, I think. So essentially, you're showing me that you can find and use and integrate academic sources in a meaningful way. The next criterion involves quality content. So I'm asking myself, to what extent does the product communicate what leaders need to know about the topic? Again, this is also worth 50 points. And you can see that a score that's above target will be anywhere between 47 and 50 points total. And you will see these points awarded in this right-hand score column. And then also, I will, as I evaluate a product, put comments in this right-hand column as well. So anyhow, with regards to quality content, a product that's above target will clearly and artfully inform the reader regarding key aspects of the topic, and will also be comprehensive in the sense that nothing major about the topic has been left out. The product also will address the nuances, so not just sort of paint with broad strokes, but also point out some thoughtful nuances with regard to the topic. Like, for example, with professional learning communities, you can talk about sort of the fact that professional learning communities look different according to what expert you're talking about, but they generally have some common characteristics sort of across experts. So you could talk about sort of those common characteristics, but then you might want to talk about the nuances, a few of the important differences you see in how sort of one expert versus another might frame professional learning communities. So that's an example of a nuance that I'm talking about here. Also, all the information would be accurate and well supported with compelling arguments and resources. And when I talk about resources, I'm talking about these resources up here, so that you're actually citing, quoting, or referencing these resources in a way that supports the statements that you're making about your topic. Then the next criterion is thoughtful application. So this is where you're showing that really that your product communicates what strong leadership for the topic can look like in an education setting. Again, this is also worth 50 points of the total 200. And I will say that it's very unusual in one of my rubrics that all of the criteria are awarded the same point value as they are here, just to give you a heads up. So for this particular criterion, an above target performance would be an application or example that clearly and vividly demonstrates what strong leadership on the topic can look like in practice. And again, this is one way that it can look like in practice, right? But it has to be very clear and very vivid. So have some sort of rich detail that really give the reader a clear picture of what good leadership for this topic can look like. Also, there has to be some kind of connection to this content section that we were just talking about up here. So in other words, you can't sort of talk about, well, this is what leaders need to know about the topic, but then provide an example that doesn't connect to that information. So your example has to connect to and illustrate the content section artfully and meaningfully. Then the last criterion is professionalism. So to what extent does the product, is it professional? So this is looking at writing quality, that's at the strong or exemplary level, we're talking about above target here. And then AP guidelines are followed, and the product itself is very well polished. It's something that you would feel comfortable sharing with other people. So hopefully this little overview of the rubric helps. I've focused in my examples and discussion here on the above target performance level because I hope that's the performance level that everyone is aiming for and ultimately achieves. Thank you, and let me know if you have any questions.